is wrong. Allah is saying, they explain introduction. Who is under this chadar? Hum Fatimatu wa abuha wa ba'luha wa banuha. Durood bheje Muhammad. Muhammad. My brothers and sisters in Iman, this is the Wi-Fi. The Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. They are the ones that are connecting ourselves, our nafs, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amazing. You get this contraption. Next time you look at it, you think about the contraption inside you, which is called nafs, and how you use it and how you abuse it. I promised I won't do anything in Urdu, but I'm sorry. मेरी कमजोरी है. शायर ने क्या खूब कहा है, जिंदगी है एक सदफ, जिंदगी है एक सदफ, कतरे निस्यां ही सही. जिंदगी है एक सदफ, कतरे निस्यां ही सही. वो सदफ क्या है जो कतरे को गौर कर न सके. और ये जितने भी हदीस है, हमारे 8वें इमाम इमाम रजा सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, बारिश का कतरा सीप और सांप दोनों के मुंह में गिरता है. सीप उसे मोती बना देता है, सांप उसे जहर बना देता है. जिसका जैसा ज़र्फ वैसी उसकी तख्लीक. क्या बात है. This is a very nice one, and I'll explain this in English also. अगर तुम किसी को छोटा देख रहे हो, तो तुम उसे दूर से देख रहे हो या फिर गुस्से से देख रहे हो. If you look at someone and think he's so small, you are either looking at him from far or you're looking at him with a lot of anger. This is another good advice from our 8th Imam. He says, दो चीजें सारी जिंदगी काम आएंगी. गुस्से की हालत में कोई फैसला मत लो और खुशी की हालत में कोई वादा मत करो. When you're extremely angry, don't take any decisions. And when you're extremely happy, don't make any promises. Just the advice from our 8th Imam. It says, इंसान भी कितना अजीब है, जब किसी चीज से डरता है तो उससे दूर भागता है. जब अल्लाह से डरता है तो उसके और करीब हो जाता है. अल्लाहु अकबर. This is very essential for us if we want to grow as a community in a productive way. किसी की मदद करते वक्त उसके चेहरे की जानिब मत देखो. हो सकता है उसकी शर्मिंदा आंखें तुम्हारे दिल में गुरूर का बीज बोते हैं. When you're helping somebody, don't look at his eyes. The chances are very good that his humility can make you arrogant and proud. And it is the same pride that Shaitan was guilty of. Takabbur. Durood bheji Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Arbaeen hai. Today is the night of Arbaeen. And it is as sad as the night of Ashura. My brothers and sisters in Iman, it's a very sad night. Today I want to just bring to you, since we have talked about our nafs, we've talked about Quran, Muttaqi, I want to bring to you One such personality was at age 5, Hafiz-e-Quran. She was the contentment of Hussein. She was called Sakina. Azadara Hussein, Sakina. When Sakina was traveling from Karbala to Kufa, on the 11th night, would you be able to listen to this? I don't know if I can say this. Isliye, this is why they call Sakina Choti Zahra. She is the young Fatimatu Zahra. All these ladies were ruthlessly put on a camel back without any kind of support. And Bibi Sakina would keep on falling down. You know what Shimr does? They're still in Karbala. They haven't yet traveled. Sakina keeps on falling, and you know what she does? What he does? He takes Sakina, and now he ties her with her stomach on the back of the camel, and ties it to the stomach of the camel, and he makes the camel run. And Sakina says, Ammu Jaan, oh my uncle Abbas, I don't want any water. I don't want any water. Just please help me, because my ribs are being broken right now. Ajrakum Allah. As Sakina travels and she goes to a certain area between Kufa and Sham, suddenly the head on which spear it was of Imam Hussein stops, and Shimr comes and he starts whipping Imam Zainul Abidin. He says, why aren't you moving? Tell your father to move. And Hussein turns around, tears in his eyes, and he says, my Sakina has fallen down. My Sakina has fallen down. So Janab Zainab comes and she looks for Sakina. She's yelling, Sakina, Beti Sakina, where are you? She cannot find Sakina anywhere. And finally she goes to a remote place where there is a lady. She is in Siyah Posh, and she has Sakina in her laps, and she is putting Sakina to sleep. And Bibi Zainab says, oh kind lady, everybody is now just treating us so badly. Who are you? And she says, she removes her veil, and yet Zainab doesn't recognize, because the face was full of blood. Her hair was full of dust, and her hands were cut in different places. And Janab Zainab said, who are you? And she says, Zainab, this is your mother, Fatima Zahra. Fatima Zahra, how did the blood get on your face? He says, when my Hussein was being ruthlessly slaughtered, the blood, I was right there, and the blood splattered all over. How comes your arm is injured? There are so many stab wounds there. He says, every time Shimr Mal'oon would come with his dagger and try to cut the head of Hussein, I would put my head and I would say, Shimr, this is my Hussein. Ajrukum Allah. This is Sakina. Sakina, when she walked, she was tied in a rope with all the other ladies. I will go slowly so we can cry properly and give pursa to Janab Sayyida, who is here today. I want to go very slowly. Bibi Sikina, she had a very small neck and she was very short. And what do? They tie her with all the ladies and Imam Zainul Abidin. Imam Zainul Abidin would walk hunched back, and when somebody asked, why do you walk like that? He said, if I was to walk erect, my sister Sakina, she would strangle and she would die right away. Ajrakumullah. Sakina is that personality that when Janab Zainab says, she narrates this, that when Shimr used to make our fourth Imam walk, he would throw thorns in the way so that the thorns would now prick our fourth Imam as he walked, and he would bleed so badly. And you know what Bibi Sikina used to do? She would go in the front and pick out the thorns, and so that the brother should not get injured. But I ask you, hey Bibi, hey Sakina, when you were made to walk on these thorns, who came and removed those thorns? Ajrukumullah. May Allah give you no other grief than the grief of Imam Hussain. Azadaran Hussain. I will finish very shortly, but I do want to discuss Janab Sakina. I want to give pursa to Imam Hussain on this night of Arbaeen of Bibi Sakina. There comes a time when Bibi Sakina is in the prison. She is in prison and she would stand by the window and she would look outside and she would say to her aunt, Pupi Amma, look at these birds, where are they going? And says they're going home when it is evening. And she would say, Pupi Amma, oh my aunt, when are we going to go home? When are we going to go? Zadaran Hussain. One day, Janab Sakina was sitting and she was so upset. And she was just Imam Zainul Abidin takes her and tries to console her. And Janab Sakina asks, he says, Bhaiya, can I ask you a question? What are the levels of thirst? What are the levels of thirst? And she says, he explains, Imam's job is to explain. He says the first one is, when you haven't had water, you start feeling so thirsty that you feel disoriented. And Janab Sakina sat down and put her head in the lap of her brother and said, now I understand why my brother Qasim, when he went to Karbala, he was so disoriented that he was trampled alive. So what is the second level of thirst? He says, that's when your tongue becomes so dry that you don't feel anything, you become numb. And then our Bibi, she starts crying. She says, when my brother Ali Akbar, he came back from the battlefield and he says to his father, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. And the Imam Hussain says, put your tongue in my mouth. Bibi Sakina says, now I understand. He says, what is the third level? The third level, he says, is when the person becomes so thirsty that they actually act like the fish which is out of the water. They just tremor. They just are completely trembling. And Bibi Sakina, she just starts crying. And then the fourth one, Azadaran Hussain, I challenge you, if you can listen to the fourth one. And he said, which is the fourth one? He says, Imam explains, he says, when the bones and the flesh is gone, it's only bone and the skin attached together. And what does Bibi Sakina do? She raises her arms, dress, and she says, is this what it is? Sakina! She had reached the fourth level of Allahu Akbar. Janab Sakina. There comes a time when she's crying and Yazid sends ahead of her father, and Bibi Sakina gets the head and she says, why are your eyes closed, Baba? Baba, open your eyes and look at this old girl of yours who is gray now, who has slap marks and who has bruises on her neck and on her body. Baba, look. And Sakina puts her cheek on the cheek of the father and she passes away. Azadara say, do you want to know how Sakina was buried? When the Kusala comes, the one that gives ghusl, and she's told, go and give ghusl because the rest were prisoners. The Ghusala comes out and she says, why? What is wrong to the Imam with this young lady? What happened to her? She says, why? What happened? It's every time we try to give her a ghusl, her hair keeps on falling away. And Imam says, when we went through the gullies of Sham, people were throwing hot water, they were throwing charcoal. Sakina was burned, and then Shimri used to pull her by her hair so much that now her hair is just falling away. Zadar and Hussein, Sakina, the way she was buried, how can she get buried? Imam Zainul Abidin is in shackles and chains. He says, "Ay Pupi Amma, oh my Aunt Zainab, bring Sakina on my arms and I will lower her in this grave." As he tries to do that, Bibi Zainab helps her, and as the body is being lowered, the arms come out from the grave, and he says, "Beta Zainul Abidin, give me my amana. I've come for Sakina myself." Azadar and Hussein, the very last point about Bibi Sakina, when Yazid says, "You are now free to go," and Bibi Zainab says, "I will have my first majlis in this Zindan Sham, and I will call all the ladies of Sham to come here and listen to the majalis." And one by one, the heads were sent, because it was freedom now. The heads are being sent. When the head of Ali Akbar came, Layla. When the head of Qasim came, Ay Ramla. Ay, when the little head of Ali Asghar came, Merba. Ay, when everybody was given Pursa, when the head of Abbas came, everybody became silent, because Abbas was the one which was ghurur. He was the protector, and now everybody had to pay respect. And now Janab Zainab holds the head, but Abbas had in Zainab's arms, and yet Abbas would not open his eyes. And he asked, "Why aren't you opening your eyes?" And a voice comes, he says, "Ay Shahzadi, how can I open my eyes when you are without children?" When everything was done, Then Imam Zainul Abidin, he takes the head of Abbas and he starts proceeding to the corner of the prison. And then when he goes there, he finds this small grave of Sakina, and he puts the head of Abbas on the grave of Sakina, and he says, Sakina, Sakina, your Chacha Abbas is here. Sakina, Abbas is here. ألا لعنة الله القوم الظالمين سيما الذين هم ينقلبون ماتم يا حسين 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 Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein.